Today, I want to talk about the Loopscale Airdrop or the potential airdrop they might have in the future as they do have their point system live. So Loopscale is a relatively new way to lend or borrow on-chain with the best rates for any asset with less risk than you might normally have. And how they do this is they combine their order-based lending with the familiar lending pool experience, maintain scalability and flexibility. So the rates are determined by the markets and not just some algorithms. And basically what this means is you can get double digit or even triple digit APYs compared to the low, more stable 5%, 6% rates offered by people like Camino, which are obviously have a lot safer and carry less risk. But Loopscale has a way that you can completely amplify this. So there's a few ways you can get involved with the platforms depending on your risk tolerance. But first, we're going to add it to the airdrop tracker. So I'll add this to my dashboard and start going through the tasks on it. So once it's added, first of all, you will have to sign up to the platform, of course. So I'll have a link for that. But it's very easy. You just connect your wallet like as standard. So the easiest way to start earning these points and also start earning an APY, which is on par with all of the other platforms, is to simply start lending on Loopscale. So we're going to visit the platform and head over to the lend tab at the top. So we can see that vaults are currently paused. But if we do scroll down, we will be able to see this advanced lending section. So not their vaults. And we can see the APYs. They're quite standard, 5%, 4%, not the highest. But what you can do is you can view the market and you are able to supply your asset. So I actually managed to deposit in a vault when they are active. So they might become active sometime, but there was the exploit that Loopscale covered, which they were able to recover the funds from. But I'm in this vault, which actually gives me a 9.77% APY. So a bit higher, but it does obviously carry a bit more risk. And you can also see my returns there as well. So what you can also do is borrow, though. I never really borrow. It's not something I do. I'm not really into the more complicated strategies where you have to loop, and that does involve borrowing. But what you can do is if you do need to, and you will earn points, you can head over to the borrow market. You can see the borrow APY, you can see the supply, the amount borrowed. And if I wanted some SOL, I could go to the borrow tab, go to continue, select my collateral, and then I would be able to get some of whatever asset which I want. And then what you could do is you could use that and deposit it somewhere else, but that is a slightly more advanced strategy. So I do actually have laid out in this article down here. And in regards to the amount of points which you can earn, if you deposit $1,000, which I don't have right here, but you will earn about 8,600 points a day on lending tab, and it does depend on what you do. And they also do have their referral system, as you can see, and also the Loopsdale community task, which you're going to want to make sure you do. So obviously I am following them on Twitter. Doesn't seem to have, my OAuth seemed to have worked last time, so I have to see if it works now. Yeah, it didn't work, but that did happen last time as well, and the same with the last task. I seem to be having some issues, but make sure to complete them as they do give you a very nice boost in points to get started with. And even if you don't deposit, being able to do them and putting a tiny amount on the platform is good. But finally, we do have this looping tab, which there's quite a lot on and is a bit more confusing. So how this works is what you are doing is effectively leveraging the tokens which you are lending. So it sounds confusing, but it basically gives you the higher APY, but as a result, you have to be more conscious of your liquidation price. So when I head over to the looping tab, I can see this 40% APY, and you can order it by APY, and you can see the deposits and the available for PT, Frag, Sol, and Sol. So I can click onto that and I can get a bit more information from it. And obviously it can look a bit overwhelming as well. So I have a little bit of dupe Sol in my wallet actually. So I can go onto that and I can select an amount to deposit, and oh yep, I don't have 5. 0. Or I could put 1. So obviously keep the slippage as it is. But we've got the fixed rate, so how long I'll lock my APY for, and the leverage. So we can see it goes up to 10x, and you won't always be able to do this. So yeah, no matching liquidity. Try to lower deposit amount or leverage, because obviously we're putting this one Solana in, and it's being leveraged 10 times. So really, you want really stable pairs for doing this, because if you imagine we have a chart and we have Dupe Sol, and they are exactly level, the same price, we have no risk putting the leverage up. But if there is the fluctuations which we see, but by leveraging this and we're depositing this, borrowing Sol constantly, our liquidation price gets a lot more narrow, and we can end up losing our money that way. So that is the risk which you'll see associated with it. And you get a bit more information here. So we can see position size 2.25 because my leverage, put it on 2, a bit more easy to straight. Position size, my health, my loan to value ratio, and how much I'll be borrowing. And you do have your liquidation price as well, which is when you're, at risk of being liquidated. And of course, you can pull up a chart. You can try and, visualize this comparison. Obviously, Dupe Sol is just Solana, which is always going to go up in price because it has built into it about 10% APY. That's also important to keep in mind. So I'll go ahead and actually deposit this if it would let me. So it's actually not letting people right now, but then of course I can go ahead and tick off that task as well. And yes, I have completed the sign up task, or I tried. Actually, I'll leave that unticked until I actually managed to do it. And these are some potential utilities I thought of, but that what they do mention as well, but governance rights, fee sharing, staking rewards, or reduced borrowing costs. I doubt some of those, but we can be ambitious. But that's pretty much all there is about Loopscale. Definitely make sure to follow them on Twitter as well.